This intro and several other intros on the Walt Vault are brought to you by Andre Morton.
Walt Vault.
A Russian princess loses her family and her memory of evil Rasputin and must team up with some con men to try to remember who she really is.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle, Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 134.
I hella jumped.
Stop saying-
3, 4.
You're not allowed to say curse words at all. I had to bleep you 10 times last episode.
You.
My wife.
How many times do you have to bleep me?
Several.
But at least I told you before I did it.
yeah.
Sorry.
Ain't nobody bleeping you.
Actually, I think I might have bleeped Lou once or twice.
Oh, no.
No bleeping myself, though. I have self-control.
I think Michael Matonde was like, poor Andre.
This week, we are talking about, for the very first time, the 1997 20th Century Fox animated movie, Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia, Anastasia, Anastasia. Anastasia, Anastasia, Anastasia.
You want to know something?
Yes.
I think that we may have shot ourselves in the foot a little bit by starting with this as the animated feature non-Disney movie. Porque when we... You know how, like, when we do certain things, we're like, well, we can't really rate this like a regular Disney movie because XYZ. Well, this is my first impression, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I suppose is that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of could rate it like a Disney movie.
Absolutely.
we can.
But I think that might have shot us in the foot because future films might be like, yeah, no, we're not rating this like a Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean...
We can absolutely rate this one like a Disney movie because I am.
It'll definitely depend on what
it is.
what the properties are in the future.
And the reason I'm rating this like a Disney movie is because we've already said this before, I think,
But
on
like
the previous...
time period wise, it felt Disney.
For sure. And
Peeps.
people have thought for years that Anastasia is a Disney movie.
Oh, for sure.
And it kind of is now. So...
It's at
Peeps,
least owned. The
I am
rights are.
thoroughly confused.
Yes.
What do you mean by rating it differently because of something else?
Because it's not a Disney movie,
Listen.
so we wouldn't rate it on the same
Oh,
scale.
Luis looks
Isn't
like he's
math
about to
the
fight.
same in every single country in
No,
the world?
well, yeah.
Luis
Why-
rates all his movies on if they're movies. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Disney movie or
I
not.
don't.
Okay,
Seriously.
FYI,
And
we're a Disney podcast, so just thought I would throw that out there.
Like, I would... Like, Luis, here... Do you agree with this statement? Wonder Woman is pretty good for a DC movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how I rate things like Disney
but like
movies.
it's not.
But Wonder Woman is also a good movie.
It is for a DC movie.
And
But if it
you
was
have
Marvel,
to be
I would say it was
unbiased.
not
But if
good
it was a
enough.
Marvel movie, I agree with you. I wouldn't say it was good enough.
Especially if we're talking
No, I'd
about the
still
84.
say it was
Their other one was better.
Comparable to other Marvel movies. So that's why I'm
that's
saying...
not the same.
it is
Ratings
the
are the
same.
same.
Do you get what I'm saying, Emily?
Ratings
So,
are the same.
I think for Andre and for Luis,
Mhm.
you super movie supers and your movie connoisseuring might be different than how Michelle and I see movie ratings.
I see franchises as very separate,
Sure.
like movie-wise.
Sure.
Well, yeah, but the ratings are still the same.
Right.
No.
I'm on Luis's side. When I rate...
What is this like?
DC movies all got us one for me then.
So what you're telling me is that Disney ratings are euros and every other rating is an American
there's
dollar?
a conversion rate.
No, it's
Well,
not
I mean,
that.
if it's worth more,
I'm saying that
No.
some Disney has set their movies to a level that I'm going to rate it on that level.
Sure.
well, because we end up comparing movies without like being a comparison podcast. We end up comparing movies, so then it becomes kind of a sliding scale of where they fit.
Right.
Even though, I mean, because you kind of have to compare apples with apples, right? Like you can't compare an apple to an orange and be like, well, it's a little too acidic for my taste, because then we would just be doing any movie and saying like, well, the quality's not that great in comparison to like Pixar. Like we
Right.
saw early on that early Pixar was in the time period much better than the Walt Disney
animation
of
at
the time
same
period.
For all of this, I guess I have been rating on like a Disney scale in my head. Maybe not necessarily. Like, okay,
I have
like
been.
I gave The Incredibles like a 10, right? When we did that,
Absolutely.
when we did that movie. Movie's fantastic. It's one of the best Pixar movies that exists. And on the Pixar scale, it's a 10. On the Disney scale, it's a 10. On the superhero movie scale, it's a 10. On the movie scale, it's a 10. Like I all the way along the lines, it's a 10. But like The Good Dinosaur, on the other hand, I probably rated it like a 6 or a 5 or something like that. I didn't care about that movie that much. But like on the Pixar scale, it's a 5 or a 6. But on the movie scale, it's probably fine. It's probably like a 7.5 or an 8 or whatever.
Pixar scale is pretty low.
See,
Because
I'd
it's-
rather
because
take
come-
your
if you're
5
comparing
all the
it to
way
the
through
Pixar.
across
Right.
everything.
Right,
There-
for everything.
Yeah,
No.
I don't.
Yes.
My brain doesn't work that way. I very much compartmentalize
Yeah.
different.
Apparently,
things.
math is not math is not math.
Math.
Well, I think the reason
I can't do
we
that.
do
math.
though, but here's the difference between us and you, Lou, is that when we give our ratings, we give our reason why.
That's true.
We actually give like a
Luis does not.
we say, okay, I'm giving it a 6 because this, and this. And we have like evidence as to why we have our number. You just come out here and you're like, oh no, it's good.
Yet my rating is still unbiased across all realms.
His ratings are solid.
7.
All the way across. So we'll see.
Well, let's still give our first impressions.
Yeah, I still haven't decided what I'm going to rate this movie
Yeah,
yet.
I don't
we'll,
know
We'll
either.
get there
I
at the
think
end.
I know, but I got to
It's a
talk
hard
about it
one.
more.
But yeah.
But I would
First
rate it
impression
equally
was
across all spectrums
good.
and
There you go.
categories.
Yeah.
I will not treat it unfairly because it does not qualify for a certain type of prestige.
Word.
I won't treat it unfairly because it held
I'm rolling my eyes so hard I'm giving myself a headache.
it held the bar sustainable
Please
to
don't do
a
that.
Disney movie. So it did a good job. Because DreamWorks, not as good as Disney, unless you're talking about Shrek. Like Shrek is the bomb.
Shrek is the bomb.
Shrek is the bomb.
And the troll.
Shriek.
Yeah.
Shriek.
Addie calls them Shriek.
Shriek. Has she seen that movie
And
yet?
Shriek too.
And she did not love Shriek, which
Aw.
was it was a hard day in the
It's-
Ruiz
it's
household.
She needs to be a little bit older.
Yeah, it's not for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds. You know, it's a movie for 12 and up.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
So Emily liked
Anastasia.
It was
Luis.
Oh, hold
Oh,
on,
go
let me
ahead.
say.
You finish.
I remember having watched this in high school, but being not that interested in the storyline, and I don't know if that's because I was like more interested in boys or being on my phone or what have you at that point. But like watching the movie wasn't that big of a deal. But upon watching this, I feel like it was the first time, and it was hecka good, and I was happy about it
Indeed.
Very nice. Luis,
in almost every category.
first impression.
I liked it a lot.
Good job.
Primarily because it had there was a lot of history behind it. And I really liked.
Oh, you liked the
Honestly, I really liked the fact that it was somewhat
Don't
it was based on a true historic event.
Right.
Whether or not it was completely accurate, I still liked it. I like things that are, I guess, based
Based
off
on
of
history.
stories. Yeah.
So you like Pocahontas?
He did say she was the
oh,
mama.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back
Yeah,
in
that's
that,
true.
With that animation
one
with
of the
those
finest
pointy
Disney
knees.
princesses of all.
Pointy knees.
I think
but
I think I was
Did
con-
Pocahontas
Willow.
exist in history?
Yeah, she did.
Pocahontas? Yeah.
She was much younger and much more taken advantage of.
Uh-huh.
But
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
And we
you're right.
definitely
I
talked
forgot
about her.
about
Yeah,
that.
we did talk about that.
Yes.
I'm happy
Yeah.
you liked it, Luis. I'll give my first impression next. I really like this movie. I think if this is the third time I've seen it. I think I think I saw it once as a kid, once in like high school, and then I watched it again. But when it was like they were announcing it was going to be on Broadway, I was like watching like clips of it there, so I knew the songs a little bit more this time watching it. But it's really good. I like it a lot. It's a really good princess movie, honestly. And Anastasia's like super cute. I really like her. I was confused about the history stuff, but I don't know enough about Russian history. I guess I didn't pay attention to that chapter in the book.
In the book.
In the book.
I told Luis that it's his job to fill us in, and I don't know if he did his Russian.
Did
No.
you do your
Homework.
Russian research?
I
Doing
literally
homework.
told him you need to do some Russian history research.
I was
and I'm
confused
so glad
about-
you did
I
not.
mean, I could go
Rasputin.
ahead and give you based off of what I remember from college, learning from Dr. Bodo.
Let's let Andre give his first impression first, and then you're going to give us a history lesson about Rasputin. You have approximately 90 seconds to research.
Why? I only get 90 seconds. Anyway.
No, Luis does. he was a history person.
Okay,
first impression, Andre.
Apparently, I am dead.
Oh,
Because
no.
I was a history person.
Shut up and go, Andre.
Past tense, R.I.P. Luis.
R.I.P. Andre.
Man, he's saying a lot of words for a dead person. The Anastasia. Yeah, this movie is really good. I
said more in his death than
than
Oh
in
my
life.
gosh.
Ghost Luis. I have seen this movie several times when I was a kid and through like high school and college a couple times here and there.
Andre kept coming back for more.
Yeah, I kept coming back for more, but I hadn't seen it in like probably the past 10 years or whatever, right? So
You were in college within 10 years, Andre.
Started at 18. I'm now 30. There's
You're
a 10-year
not 30
gap in there.
yet. Don't age
I am
yourself.
30 in what is this?
5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
You like how I'm holding out real hard?
Yeah, and
We
then
are
you're
not
5
30
weeks
yet.
after that, homie. So yeah, this movie was really impressive to me upon this viewing. I was going into it thinking that like it's probably going to be a little bit lower quality than what we're used to watching from the Disney movies we watch, but like honestly, all across the board, it was awesome. It had good acting, good performances, really good songs. There's a fair amount of bops in here, and then I like the story and I like the animation for the most part. There are some like little weird things in there, but for the most part, I liked it. And I do want to talk about Mr. Don Bluth, who directed this movie along with Gary Goldman. Because
I thought it was Gary Oldman at first, and I got really excited, and then I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
it's me, Sirius Black.
Who's Gary Oldman?
Sirius Black.
Oh.
It's me.
I
was
think he's
really
in the new
excited.
Scrooge on Hulu
Sirius.
or something.
I'm Commissioner Gordon.
That was Sirius Black?
Yeah, dude. that was
Commissioner
him.
Gordon was Sirius Black?
They're the same
What?
man.
Mind blown.
Mustache over here,
Look at
different
Luis's
mustache
face.
over here.
Hairy dog over here.
To
Not
be
a
fair,
hairy dog over
He
there.
had a hipster mustache in
And Harry Potter.
yeah.
Yeah, it was all spindly and whatever.
Yeah.
He put some
And
oil,
murderous.
oil in it or
No,
whatever.
we put some blood, some magic spells
Oh, yeah, that's
in
right.
it.
So yeah, Don Bluth, though, before he went off and created his own animation company and whatnot, he
it,
he
Louise.
was a
Sorry.
Disney employee, and but he only worked on a few things here and there. Like he was an animator on like some Winnie the Pooh stuff, and he was an animator on some Sleeping Beauty stuff, and he helped make Robin Hood, and then he dipped out and started making all of his own movies. And these are the movies that in the 80s were just stomping all over the Disney movies of the 80s. Freaking Thumbelina and
Thumbelina.
Land Before Time.
Oh,
and,
I had all those movies. Thumbelina, Land Before Time.
I remember
Let's see,
watching
The Secret
Land
of
Before Time, but I
Nim.
don't remember
The
it.
Secret of
All
Nim.
Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
these were all great
Oh,
movies.
He was putting out hitter after hitter when Disney was doing the Black Cauldron. It's me, doggy, I'm back, baby.
There's a Gurgi-esque in here, and I like him much more than Gurgi.
It's true, and he's got a different accent. So yeah, I think I was impressed by because going into this I was like, oh yeah, Don Bluth, he used to work for Disney, so that's why he's so good at making these types of movies. But he worked
He was
on
better at it than Disney was before they were.
correct, yeah,
For sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like his movies led into the Disney Renaissance more than the Disney movies did.
Do you know what's funny about this too? Is that while we were watching it, I kept saying that this movie gave me specific vibes from Disney movies that came out in the 2000s.
Tangled?
No.
No.
Oh, I got
No,
Tangled.
you
it
got
was
Tangled vibes?
Atlantis.
I got Atlantis and
Oh,
Treasure
okay.
Planet vibes.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And those were 2000s, right? Like
yes.
early?
Mm-hmm.
So like this is a like
Right.
wow, okay, that's a big
It's like
disparity.
it's like the studios took turns in who was gonna be good in one decade. And then, all right, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Our turn to be
passing the mantle.
We'll back
Yeah.
off for a second here. But actually, during the lead up to this movie, Fox was marketing this movie really hard. It was going to come out towards the end of the year in the holidays or whatever. And coincidentally, Disney was doing their re-release of The Little Mermaid, which, 8 years after its initial release or whatever,
Nice.
which is what they normally do. But they also were refusing to advertise Anastasia on any of the Disney-owned networks, so nothing on ABC or anything like that. And they were also pushing very hard against Anastasia and trying to squash it down so that
so Disney were being
they were being quite petty.
Okay.
So that
I was going to use a word that you were going to have to bleep.
exactly.
Don't
so
do that. He had to
Little
edit
Mermaid
so long.
and Flubber and a couple other of Disney movies that were coming out at the time would prosper over this one.
Flubber.
But
Sorry, Michelle.
Flubber.
But this movie still did quite well. So that's my first impression.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Well, Disney, you cannot promote it all you want because it has endured.
It has.
Well, they own it now, so.
And that too.
I know. I
guess if you're going to own it in the end.
I was
it doesn't
reading
matter.
like blogs and stuff. Like I follow a lot of Disney people on Instagram, and like when Disney officially finally had acquired Fox, people were like, "Is Anastasia coming to the parks? Like, is she going to be one of the princesses that you can like meet or whatever?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know, but it's
Probably
questionable."
not.
I'm going to say not because she's not a Disney original character.
They would have to
Right.
like induct her as a Disney princess because you know how they make. Did you know that they do that? Like every time
What,
there's
they
a
have
new
'em
movie with
rush?
a princess, they have like
Pretty
a
much.
ceremony at the park
Pledge.
to like officially make them one of the Disney princesses.
That's cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And poor girl from Treasure Planet ain't in nothing.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, like Disney has the
Soko
rights.
Ono, not
They
anywhere.
have the rights to this, right? And they have the rights to the Fantastic Four and Alien versus Predator and all this other Fox stuff. But I think incorporating it into their Disney theme parks where all of their characters live, I think it would take a Disney reimagining of these different properties for them to want to do that.
Agreed.
If they made an Anastasia 2 produced by Disney or something like that, or a reboot or live action or something like that,
God.
then they could start adding it into the parks. But I don't think they're going to be like, yeah,
This
let's.
actually would be a pretty good
Live action? Yeah, it
Now
would
that
be.
you said that, even though
It is on Broadway right now,
Well, there you go.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's part of it, I guess.
I guess that's live action
Yeah.
enough. But I do. So okay, I
Dude,
did
you
not.
could get Lee Pace to be Rasputin.
His eyebrows all falling off and stuff.
He would be
Yes.
a cool Rasputin.
I guess you would. So it's really funny because I feel like Luis and I have had really weird exposure to like this semi time period of Russian history in
Okay.
different modes of TV and movie and stuff. He's
The
giggling.
weirdest, I guess, trajectory, if you will.
Like
You know,
we watched it, which we've talked about Peaky Blinders a million times, but we
Peaky
watched it in
Blinders.
Peaky Blinders from like the czarist side of Russia
Okay.
and them trying to escape. And then we also saw it in
a
Legends.
historical Legends.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, slightly.
They
That
did
was,
the
Oh, because they time
That was
travel in
one.
that show.
Mhm.
and then
I
there
know,
was
like,
also
nothing
we
about
saw
Russians.
we saw it on a Discovery, kind of like a documentary
Yeah.
about the
The Fabergé
Fabergé eggs.
Oh.
Oh, Luis and I,
Y'all
we're
know
all into
everything about-
Fabergé.
And I'm
Do you
pretty
wanna-
sure there's one the lost Fabergé egg. It has to be in one of the antique shops in our local town.
Mm,
It
Like
has to.
literally, all I know
He thinks
about
that Anastasia took it.
Russia is
interesting.
freaking
she died in real
Scarlet
life.
Witch. She was Russian, right?
Okay.
Like I don't know anything like
Well,
about
technically
she
the
was
history.
Sokovian.
Sokovian.
Yeah, so the Black Widow.
So Black Widow was
Russian.
more,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I just don't know much. So when they were talking about like the Tsar and like the Civil War or whatever, and I
So
was
I
like,
could be
I have
totally
no
wrong,
idea.
but my understand, like what I glean, not even that I know for a fact, but like the Tsar is similar to a
An
king
emperor,
or queen.
Yes.
right?
Emperor.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the
And-
leader of Russia or of that.
It is
State in
exactly the king.
Okay.
So, and the Tsar is, are they supposed to be divine right to rule, Louise?
I believe so.
The
Yeah,
reason I
think so,
ask that
too.
is because that really does set them apart from the people and makes them like usually more oppressive,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
to the people. And so it's really interesting how this movie took the turn that Rasputin, who in history was a
Like a shaman.
like a
kinda
shaman
dude.
to the Tsarina, which is the
Tsar's family.
the queen, right? Like the king's wife. And he was like helping her with healing stuff and doing practically palm reading.
I
But
remember from the history books that Rasputin was around, and either Anastasia or one of her many siblings.
I think it was her brother.
Yeah, was anemic.
Yes,
and
that's
he,
true.
you know, so he was bleeding all the time. It was nasty, and Rasputin was in there being his creepy self, and he was like, "I will put your blood back in your body," or whatever. Doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
He
then,
was being a reverse vampire.
yes, and then I also remember that Rasputin was killed.
Oh, dude.
Like
Twice?
multiple,
No, like
multiple
yeah.
times, all within the same period.
he was shot. He was
Shot.
dragged by a horse. He was thrown in
drowned.
the
I
cold
knew
river.
about the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
was
fell in the ice.
suffocated, maybe.
But
Did
he
he
kept
was
coming
hung.
back, so
He
he was
was
like a
hung, that's
witch
right.
too.
Yeah, that's the shaman part of it.
Okay.
Is that he was an outsider, came in as like a soothsayer. It's like, hey,
And he
I
was
can, I
and
can
he
fix
was like
everything.
a failed monk apparently. Like he tried to do like the monk lifestyle, and they said nah, get out
So-
of here.
Because he's creepy.
Yeah, I also know that he was dead before the royal family was like attacked and killed. Or
Wait, so he
whatever.
was dead?
Yeah, he didn't lead that. It was
So
here's
that's
the
what I
deal.
was going to say about the history part is that it's interesting the way that like
That they went about it.
that
or-
he kind of did the Maleficent thing, came in and was
Yes.
like, "Oh, I'm about to curse y'all."
Curse on you
And
and your cow.
and your cow and your family. So he cursed them, and that was supposed to be the instigation of the Russian
riots.
rebellion and the civil rights.
That makes sense, though, for like a movie.
Which I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I'm
Right.
not mad about it.
I thought
Go
that
ahead, Lou. Do you have
Rasputin.
other historian things to say?
Yes, I need a block of time, no interruptions.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Put down your mic, Michelle.
I'm going to order a burger. Hold on.
okay, so Russia had been a monarchy prior to World War I for a very, very long time. Okay, World War I comes around, and pretty much Russia gets dragged in. Russia is not doing too well on the home front. People are starving, and not everybody has food, but the royal family and a lot of the social elites are doing well.
This is like late 1800s.
No. Well,
Like
it
early
probably started
19.
way earlier and before World War One in
Okay.
1914.
But that was early 19.
yeah.
Early
Yeah.
1900s.
And pretty much.
But let's be real. It probably went on
No
for
interruptions. Remember.
Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, and then pretty much what ends up happening, they're in World War I, and the people are getting fed up with, only the wealthy having all this food and being taken care of, while the workers and the, I guess lower classes, if you will use that term, are starving. And a guy by the name of Karl Marx had written a book about communism, okay?
Oh, Carl.
And then I'm a little bit foggy because it's been such a long time. I've been teaching health for 7 years and dwell away from history. But I believe it was Vladimir Lenin.
Yes.
Okay, pretty much is like routing up people, saying, we should follow the Marxist ideals, off with the monarchy. It's the people of Russia who really are, the backbone of this country. And pretty much the whole royal family. By the way, the king, the Tsar, is a weakling. He didn't know what the heck he was
Tsar
doing when
Nicholas?
it came to military tactics in World War I. They make him seem like a pretty swell guy here, but he was weak.
All he can do is dance with his daughter. He can't
Well, pretty much.
beat it out on the battlefield.
So, long story short, okay, the people who actually overthrow the monarchs are the communist people, the socialists, the Marxists, whatever you want to label them as. And they kill just about everybody, okay? I believe, as far as I remember, they may have... No, I don't believe they were all killed at the same time.
at the same time.
Okay, I think maybe Dad went for sure, and then the rest probably in captivity.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the story is that one royal family member did escape, and that was Anastasia.
Right. Who was pretty young at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And
Okay,
Probably with that
now you
damn
may
Fabergé
interrupt.
egg.
Aha. With an egg
With a Fabergé egg,
that
yeah.
was hatched by a golden goose. How
Dude,
do Fabergé eggs
you know how much
come into being?
Those things were like, when the documentary we were looking at, it was like, what, 20 million per egg at least?
Whoo-wee. Dang.
These are fancy eggs.
I like eggs.
No, these were like legit.
I like eggs.
It's not like an edible egg.
I like
You don't
eggs.
know? It'll be edible when I gotta smuggle it somewhere.
It's like this big. I'm gonna go eat it.
I'll do what I gotta do. Okay. So that's the real story, or a summation of it, at the very least. So you're right. It is interesting the way that they kind of Disneyfied the history and turned it into this curse that was put on the Romanovs, and that's why the whole town rushed in and tried to kill everybody.
I'm down with it, though,
because
because
of the
that sounds
Rasputin
cool.
curse. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and the fact that it didn't work and the Rasputin was banished to the underworld
limbo.
or whatever. Yeah.
And that I was not expecting that to continue, like that part of the story.
for him to come back.
Oh my
and
god!
be the villain.
I did not expect that, and it was very satisfying to see him still mad 18 years later or what have
Right.
you.
Oh yeah, he was quite angry and much less alive.
Put together.
Yeah. Much less put together.
So pretty much the idea is that Anastasia is young, 7, 8 maybe.
8, I believe. Yeah.
She's about 8. She's about 8 years old, and they're having like a palace party, and Grandma
Palace party.
is the Queen Mother of Russia.
The Queen Mother.
I know this isn't England, but you know what? Pretty much that's what she is. The
Queen Mother.
is like
Hold on, Lizzie. We gotta be technical.
the Queen Zarina.
No, it's not the Queen Mother. It's
The Zarina Mother.
She's
Serena.
She was the
Queen?
Grand Duchess.
The Grand
Empress. The
I
Grand
don't know.
Empress.
Never mind. Now
They-
we're getting technical.
They were
Forget
calling
about me.
Anastasia the Empress.
No,
so
they said Duchess.
no, Empress.
I wrote down Duchess a bunch of times.
They definitely said Empress.
Actually,
Empress of Russia.
They definitely said Empress.
Absolutely.
They called her something though. It was yeah. The anywho. So
find
the
it.
grandma is like, I gotta go to Paris, which they didn't tell us why she had to go to Paris.
I know.
but
I
it was
didn't
because
get
they were
that
Right.
fleeing.
until but I didn't even understand that they were fleeing. I thought it was maybe just like her mom was from Paris, and so the grandma was from Paris, so they were just gonna go back to Paris.
Yeah,
The Dowager Empress.
Dowager
You're right.
Empress.
I knew
So-
Empress was in there.
So she's like, I'm gonna go, and I know you're gonna miss me, and I'm gonna miss you. So I'm making this locket with this little jewelry. It wasn't a jewelry box. It was
A music box.
a music box. And so I'm gonna give this to you, and you can remember me because it has our song that we sing.
That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, very cute. So that nice little scene goes pretty quickly though, and you see a little kitchen boy
Kitchen
run
boy.
by in the background, and he's like trying to get Anastasia's attention. But she's dancing with her dad and having a grand old time. And Rasputin comes in hecka shaman maleficent like and is
Rah
like
rah Rasputin.
rah rah Rasputin rah rah.
The Russian king. I don't remember how that song goes. I need to listen to it.
So he comes in and he's like, you didn't invite me to the christening of this baby, so
Basically.
and I am
No,
going
not
to
really.
curse you.
You didn't say that.
Go
We
ahead.
know he didn't say that.
History
But
Luke.
basically, he
No,
wants to
didn't
kill
say
them all.
anything about a christening.
I
No,
know that's
she
what
was a
Maleficent
Maleficent
said.
reference.
Oh,
But
God.
basically, he wants to kill the entire Romanov line.
Right. Wipe them
Do
all
you
out.
guys remember why?
He just doesn't like
Well,
them for some reason.
in the movie,
They kicked him out, and
Yeah.
I
In
think
the
he's
movie.
bitter.
Oh.
So in the movie, he had already been working with them, and they had already started to not like him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
'Cause
For
he's creepy.
obvious reasons. Yes,
you a creep.
because he looks like that. And so he came back,
You be out there looking like that.
and they were like, "Hey, Rasputin, we told you to get out of here, doggy. We don't want you here." And he was like, "Curse, curse, curse!" Everybody dead.
And he like sold his soul to be able to obtain that curse.
Very much like
Hercules.
Felicie.
Facilier.
Felicia.
Facilier.
Facilier.
Bye,
Yeah.
Felicia.
Felicie. Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Get in, lizard. Gone shopping.
Oh, Luis is on fire on this episode, you guys.
Yeah, he is.
So yes. So
He won't even let me buy him a burger, but he's on fire.
After
Hey,
Rasputin,
you know what though? That burger sounds good. No.
That was literally 3 minutes ago, and you said you were full.
Well.
It's still
Felicia.
here. We haven't ordered
Pass
it
the
yet.
phone
dog.
around.
Oh no.
Go for it. So
Bye, Felicia.
Rasputin, he puts the curse
Bye,
upon
Felicia.
the Russian family, and pandemonium begins
Stupid.
immediately.
Ooh, I like that word, pandemonium.
So the curse spreads.
Spell it fast backwards.
Nope.
M.
M.
MUI. Demonium.
Denonapa. It's
Yeah,
backwards.
come on the bus.
So, Rasputin, he puts the curse on the family, and it starts getting buck wild. They start breaking the windows. They start rushing in. It kind of reminded me of some political events this week.
How bizarre.
They got the Capitol.
It was.
How bizarre.
We watched it.
How bizarre.
We watched it the
How
day after.
How bizarre.
We watched it the day after the storming of the Capitol or whatever, and I was like, oh, this is not a good look at all in
I was
any
like,
way, shape, or form.
Where's their security? Where's their Secret Service? They ain't got nobody on
got
that Empress but
nobody.
a kitchen boy.
I guess so.
Where'd they go?
Bart, seriously.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. So
Similar.
yeah. So their coup is a little bit more
How
successful.
bizarre.
A little bit more successful than ours was. So they
Yeah, for sure.
most of the Romanov family is killed during the scene, which we don't see because it's a kids movie or whatever. But
That's why you're saying it'd make a good live action. Like if they did
Yeah.
a real one, like
Yeah.
not kid friendly live action, or even like a TV
or like
show,
PG-13.
Yeah,
like a
bump
TV
it up
show,
little
like how
bit.
they did The Crown. It'd be good, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sure.
think so.
And while all this is happening, little kitchen boy helps Anastasia and the Dowager Empress escape through a tunnel that's in the wall, which is pretty cool. And while that's happening, the little boy gets a hold of the music box, and Anastasia's left with only her locket. They run outside, and the Empress is boarding a train and trying to help Anastasia on top of it, but she can't because the guards there are just like being aggressive. They're not trying to help this little girl at all.
Dude, Luis got so mad at this point because the train is picking up speed and the Empress is on the train and she's like trying to hold on to Anastasia's hand, and Luis is like, so you just gonna not jump off the train? You're
Right.
just gonna leave her behind?
Oh, dude, I would have been risking life and limb. Like,
Right, it's so
I think
weird.
Andre wrote in his notes like, okay, like,
maybe
he's not gonna
too
let her.
dramatic.
Maybe she old and she don't want to break a hip.
I just think that like there
Well,
could
I
have
mean, she
been
didn't break a hip running and jumping on top of that train.
there could have been a better way to show that like Anastasia couldn't get on the train, because like it's just the grandma like reaching for her, and there are guards like holding on to her, but like this is a dire situation. I think
a child.
if I and she's a child. If I was grandma, I'd be elbowing these dudes in the face, jumping off of this train, grabbing my granddaughter, and zipping back up to the train or whatever.
Like, I think if it was like one of those, okay,
Like
what
the
movie
crowd
was it?
pushed her
Hold
back
on,
and
hold
she
on,
couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. Oh, there was a movie. Never mind. It went away from me.
Okay.
But I don't know. No, listen. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the cartoon show. You know, nah, that's a little too kind of hardcore. But pretty much, here's what I'm getting at.
What the
Here's
name
what
of the
I'm
show is
getting at.
hardcore.
The scene would have been a whole lot better if on that train were a million people trying to flee.
Right.
Okay, kind of like in I Am Legend. You know, right before they get on that
When they get on the
chopper to
bridge.
leave New York City.
Yeah.
Okay, if the scene were like that, and it'd be kind of cool, but I didn't really get that from that scene. Did you get it? Like a bunch of people were trying to leave Russia
No.
on that train?
I didn't understand that. Well, I didn't
'Cause I didn't
understand
understand
that
that whole
people were
fleeing.
fleeing Russia
They
until
were?
you guys started talking about it. I did not know that.
Like it looked like a normal train station.
Yeah,
like they
I
had
don't think
escaped.
anybody was fleeing
Like
but
she
her.
had a ticket. It was time to go, but
Yeah.
like she just left her granddaughter.
Right, so that's why it was confusing to me, because like they had escaped the Tsar's palace or whatever, and now they made it to the train station. So all they got to do is hop on a normal train and flee to Paris or whatever. And so it was weird that these dudes were like holding on to the grandma to prevent her from like reaching for this little girl who's running after the train. Like, let her go, man. What's up? What's wrong? What's happening? But and I couldn't tell if the guys were like her Secret Service guards or whatever trying to protect the Empress.
I
Did
don't
they
know.
have
like
Secret
really
Service
awful.
guards when they ran out of the home?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So I don't know who are these dudes just holding on to this lady, and like, what's your problem? Save that little girl. Anyway,
Also, I think after this, they could have just done a better job with her just like she forgot everything.
Thank
like
you.
I was
That's my
like,
number
did
one problem
she
with
hit
this.
her head really
exactly
hard?
what I wanted.
Did she
You didn't get that.
dementia?
I wanted her to
like, they
fall
were-
over and hit her head on the
They
train
were just
track.
like she doesn't remember.
but she
anything.
did, didn't she? I remember when.
Barely. No, it wasn't hard. She just fell backwards.
Yeah, she just fell. That's,
mean,
that's
I
right.
don't mean
It
to
wasn't
say-
enough for me to be like, oh snap,
Yeah.
she has dementia.
Or
Amnesia.
Amnesia. Thank you.
I was gonna say nostalgia.
God, something with the
I only
zia at
remember
the end.
Yeah.
Like when she was coming out of the orphanage,
Yeah.
oh, she's 18, it's time to go. I was very confused as to why she would even be in an orphanage. Like, they didn't explain that very well.
Right. So yeah, we cut to 10 years later. She's walking out of an orphanage. She's a grown up now, and the lady at the orphanage is like, Anya, you get out of here finally. You never appreciated me being the mother figure for you. And Anya's like, yeah, dude. Well, I don't remember anything about anything, and that's why. She's like, whatever. Get out of here. Goodbye. Have fun on the streets. And
She's like, I got you a job at the fish market.
Yeah.
Bye. And she's like, fish market?
Take your bottom.
Okay, if that was trying to be baklava, I don't know what happened.
I thought you
Take
said
your
bottle.
baklava with you.
Baklava.
If you're Russian, I am so sorry.
Also, if you're Russian, send us some baklava. Yum.
I don't even think Russians eat baklava. That's
Oh.
like a
That
Middle
definitely is
Eastern
not
thing.
Russian. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, my
Look it up now. I'm curious.
It's got-
my
It's got
coworker
K's and
is,
V's.
my coworker is Russian, and her mom made, I can't remember what she was called. It started with a G. She was eating it.
Goulash?
Gulag?
Goulash, yeah.
Goulash.
Goulash. She was eating that today at work.
Baklava is an Ottoman dessert
Yes.
from the Ottoman Empire,
Yes.
which is
Ottoman is in...
Ottoman, like that thing you used to put all your stuff in?
No.
That is an
put your
Ottoman,
feet on.
but this was the Ottoman Empire.
the Ottoman
I know,
Empire.
guys. I'm just trying to say it funny.
Just tell me where it is.
How
Wikipedia.
about
Ottoman
a little
Empire is
more
actually
baklava?
Turkey, homie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably Middle East. 'cause
Northern Africa, Western Asia,
a
Southeast
little
Asia.
more
The center was like
baklava.
Turkey, and it's all that little Middle Eastern
That-
place.
that area.
Have some of column A, trial of column B.
They
Oh.
talk about baklava.
I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had Rasputin like me.
I missed the first part of that, so all I heard was the singing, and I was
How about a
confused.
little more baklava?
Gotcha. So now that Anastasia
Baklava.
is free of her orphanage home, we find out that the rest of St. Petersburg is kind of considering her like a legend, like because they think that she escaped, or that she's dead, or that she has created another life. And meanwhile, the Dowager Empress has put a reward out for her safe return that has been going on for 10 years strong now.
What was it, 10 million or a million?
10 million.
Dang, back in that
10
time?
million rubles.
Jeez.
The
Ruble.
rubles.
All the rubles. So
Like, why would you want rubble? That makes no sense.
Only thing is, I can't
10
remember
million
all
rocks.
the songs. So they're talking about how
10
she's a
million
legend,
Paw
and
Patrol
it's
dogs.
the song is called "A Rumor in St. Petersburg."
a rumor in St. Petersburg. Have you heard?
There you go.
That's exactly how it went.
Have you heard?
So Anastasia's leaving the orphanage, walking down the little path towards the fish market, and she sees the signpost that says either this way to St. Petersburg or this way to the fish market, and she's like asking for a sign from the universe, and she obviously doesn't want to go to the fish market.
Right.
So this little dog pops out of nowhere and is like trying to get her to go towards St. Petersburg. She's like, all right, I'll take it as a sign, and that cute little dog ends up being her little animal companion
Yeah.
for the rest of the movie.
Puka.
Puka.
Puka. Yes. Also, the locket that she has that was part of the music box. It
Don't
says,
even get me started on that. I'm so mad.
It says "Together in
Stupid.
Paris," and so that's the only thing that she kept from her
What?
time. And
Did
I
you
guess
lift the microphone to laugh into it.
and I guess the fact that her name starts with an A. Those are the only two things that she remembered. How'd they name her Anya? It was just very close to Anastasia. I mean, not very close, but
Anastasia.
closer than if they had
Anastasia.
named her like Natalia or
I
whatever.
kept thinking of Anya from
Natalia?
no, Anya. What's that show we watched with the superheroes? Umbrella Academy.
Oh yes. Yeah, she's got cool powers.
I mean, Enya?
No, her name's Anya.
Who can say
Oh. Oh my
Okay, the
God.
men got their song out.
that was great.
Dude, that was totally unscripted.
I love how that was the song, too. There's no other Enya song.
She
Well,
only got
it's
the one
okay.
bop, man.
It's okay because now the best song in the movie comes on.
Which is?
A Journey to Past. The one that she sings when she's talking about where to go, which way to go.
Right.
To the past.
Oh yeah, that was
Yes.
like an Into the Unknown before an Into
This
the
is,
Unknown.
Well, it is. She's even like dancing in it
Yeah.
too.
Yes, I wrote down. She's finishes singing her "I Want" song, and then goes to meet up with the bros. So yeah,
Heart don't fail me now. Courage don't desert
What?
me. It is really good.
It's a good one.
That's the best song in the movie.
let me take.
Excuse me, Dancing Bears, Painted Wings.
Oh, you liked that one?
Well, the song.
The song
Bears.
Once Upon a December.
Oh yeah. That's the other big pop. I want to take a moment to highlight
But
the
you're right, that
the
one's
cast
Oh,
a
I
little
really
bit
like that one.
because it for 1997.
Oh yeah, it's a weird
it's
cast.
a pretty
dude.
star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Dude, we totally thought the guy who voiced them was
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
It's John Cusack.
A little early for Chris Pine.
Yeah, but
know
then
what?
we were like,
Shut up. It
yeah,
sounded
no,
just
it
like
wasn't
Chris
him.
Pine.
Yeah,
John Cusack.
so John Cusack plays Dimitri, and Meg Ryan plays Anastasia. Y'all
Very
remember
weird.
Meg Ryan? Holy moly!
I know who Meg Ryan is,
You
but
know
I
what,
was
though?
confused about John Cusack. Like, I had to see a photo of him, and then I was looking at Dimitri singing and looking at John Cusack, and I was like, I don't get
It's
it.
Joan Cusack's brother.
I know that. I know who he is, but it just didn't sound like him.
So we were watching the movie. The songs were happening, and I was like, "Wow, Meg Ryan is killing it on all of these songs." And then I looked at the IMDb, and she did not sing any of the songs.
Did
I
John
will.
Cusack?
I will add.
No,
this.
he didn't either. So Anastasia's
But let's be honest, time period wise, that wasn't
right.
the norm.
Yes,
Like
correct.
now, you gotta sing, you gotta act, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
do the thing. We
indeed.
ain't got no Jodie Bensons up in here
Exactly.
doing a half
so
bit.
the Jodie Benson of this movie was Miss Liz Calloway.
Wait, who's Jodie Benson?
She's Ariel. She does the voice
The singing
and
voice
the
of
singing
Ariel.
voice.
Well,
That
all
Jodie
of the
Benson was
Ariel.
that
Oh, you're
girl.
right. It's the Ariel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Liz Calloway, you might know her from The Swan Princess.
Oh, she does the singing
She's-
voice?
Yeah, she does the singing voice.
I'm gonna say nay to that.
Oh, you
I
never
don't
seen
know her
Swan
from
Princess?
that.
You haven't seen Swan Princess?
Anyway,
I haven't seen no Swan Princess.
Swan Princess?
she also played Princess Jasmine in The Return of Jafar.
Well, I
Which
might
we
remember
did
her
watch.
from that. I feel like the Return of Jafar.
Kelsey Grammer sings a lot in this one, too. He's
He plays Vladimir.
Vladimir. Yeah.
Kelsey
Vladimir?
Grammer. Frasier.
Yeah.
Is in this movie. He's
You know-
Vladimir. He's Dimitri's like
Oh,
old homie.
old
I like
homie.
that
Old
guy.
homie.
He was.
I actually
Cool.
really liked him.
And then
So hold on. Plot wise,
oh yes.
Anastasia's approaching St. Petersburg. The
Mm-hmm.
people are not prospering after the Tsar's
Right.
overturn. They
No.
realize
Pretty,
that like it's unfortunately just bad.
Didn't go well.
The grass is
Post-war
not
era
always
is not
greener.
great.
Mm-hmm.
But Dmitri and his friend
Vlad.
Yugoslavic, what?
Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yugoslavic.
Oh.
Vladimir.
Nah.
Vladimir and
That's
Because
like-
she couldn't get there to Paris from St. Petersburg. Remember, she tried to go to the train, and they said
Yep.
that she needed like a
visa.
passport or a visa, which she doesn't
get
have.
out of the country.
So this older lady tells her, like, go see Dmitri. He lives in the old palace, but like I didn't tell you that.
yeah.
And so she goes to see Dmitri.
And we
Why
as
was
the
he
view-
living in the palace?
Well, hold on. Luis has a thing about that.
Hey,
too. But hold on. we realize as the viewer very early on that Dmitri is the kitchen boy
Right.
from the original
Yeah.
from the original scene.
Because he
So-
has the music box.
He has the music box.
and he looks just like the kitchen boy.
literally exactly like the kid, and both kids' names were Dmitri. So
Right.
I mean, we get that as the viewer, which is nice. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
early on, there's no surprise for us.
So he saved the real Anastasia when he was a young boy.
And he kind of has been trying to find her. I know he has this whole coup thing going on where he's going to train some actress to be like Anastasia so they can go and get the rubles or whatever. But I think, like, deep down, he probably kind of is like, where is that Anastasia that
Yeah.
I saved? You know?
Yeah, so that's Dimitri and Vlad's whole thing, is that they're kind
they
of...
rented a theater to like hold auditions for Anastasia.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And also, they both were in the palace during the time of the...
And also, they both kind of live there.
yeah,
and
they,
they're
that's their hideout. That's their hideout.
How can you squat out in an old palace? That seems crazy to me.
You can't want to get us all taken down by the stormers.
Louise,
or
I'm
whatever.
gonna go
Okay.
ahead and give your 2 cents. on
I
what-
thought
he
that
was upset.
I thought that was ridiculous.
Go ahead, Lou.
First off, that is dumb that they no one would ever storm that palace and then leave it abandoned.
Right.
Mm,
The
yeah.
government would have made an example of that and either
They would have changed it to
burned
something
it
else.
down
Right.
or they would have made it to their government building.
And it's like made of marble probably, and like
They
all
left
of
all
the
the antiques
stuff
and stuff
was
in
still
there.
in there. I was like, this is
All the paintings are
ridiculous.
still
No, I thought they pillaged that stuff.
Yeah, but she was finding things all in there.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like,
I remember this and this.
Yeah, she's looking at the picture of herself and is like,
Yeah, that's a gigantic, like, at
Portrait.
least $50,000 portrait or whatever. You know, people would have definitely pillaged it if it was just left abandoned. But yeah, so Dmitri and Vlad, they are con men. They ever since the scourge or whatever of Russia, they've been conning their way into different scenarios to either find the real Anastasia and get that money, or just get some money to stay alive. So they've been holding auditions to find an Anastasia to take to the Dowager Empress to convince her that she's the real Anastasia
in Paris.
And get that big money.
Get those big rubles.
Get them dollars. So
Ruble, bill, y'all.
so when Anastasia
Are they in bills?
is told to go see Dmitri, she
Bills.
steps into the palace and starts having flashbacks. And it's actually really, really cool the way that her memory is like reintroduced to her throughout this movie. I like it a lot. Because she goes in there, she starts singing her song. Once Upon a December, is that this?
Yes.
The song? She starts singing, and then as she's singing, the portraits kind of start lighting up, and she's like looking at different stuff, and then like the whole ballroom fills with people.
Yeah, I
This is
liked
like
the scene.
This
It looked
is like
cool.
Haunted Mansion, and I dig it.
Yeah, it totally
was
was.
cool.
But I like the scene. Like they made it look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was.
eventually a dress shows up on her, and the Tsar is there, and she's
Just like
dancing with him.
daydreaming,
But
you
I
she
was gonna ask for the blanket and where it was.
it's behind you.
I'm laying on it.
She has no context for what any of this stuff means. Like she doesn't know that the Tsar that she's dancing with in this daydream is her
Is her
dad.
father.
So she's having a grand old time in there.
The bat on the battlefield, man.
Yeah. I can't win any battles, but my daughter, she dances very nice. So
Jesus.
Dmitri and Vlad show up, and they're like, "What are you? Who are you? Oh, wait, whoa, you look exactly like Anastasia. Hey, check it out. Look at her."
This is after a day of very, very, very bad auditions. Those were actually very funny.
Grandmother, it's me, Anastasia.
Old lady.
Reading the line, yeah, way too old to be Anastasia. I'm 47. It happened 10 years ago. I was 8.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they see her, and they see dollar signs in their eyes, basically. Especially when she starts telling her story. She's like, yeah, well, when I was 8 years old, I kind of lost my entire memory. So I grew up in an orphanage. I have no idea where I'm from or who my family is. I don't have a last name, and I'm pretty impressionable. And gullible. So and they're like, ka-ching. So
Sounds good.
They start their journey of trying to convince her that she's Anastasia, and also prepare her to be Anastasia for when she meets the Empress. And that's like most of the journey that the
plot,
movie
yeah.
goes on.
Journey.
So hold on. I need you to stop.
Yes.
Because this is where the movie took the turn I was not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
So like at this point I was like, oh, I can see where this is going. They're going to have a journey. They're going to go to Paris. But I was
Montage.
thinking to myself, like, where's the antagonist? Like, what's going to happen here?
Right.
And as Anastasia is having these little like flashbacks and stuff, and Vlad and Dmitri come, and they're like, ooh, it's Anastasia.
Mm-hmm.
Balrog.
Bartok. He's like, oh, Anastasia. He sounds like Owen Wilson, kind of.
Oh, I can be all the characters.
I love Bartok. He's so cute.
So the little bat that was friends with not Dmitri, with
Rasputin.
Rasputin in the beginning of the movie, has apparently just been chilling.
Just been hanging out, man.
He just been hanging out with that curse,
Got
just
this
in the palace.
all to myself.
Chilling.
So like Luis was saying about, what did you call him? Lecelier?
Felicia?
Felicia.
Felicia. So, in The Princess and the Frog, Dr. Facilier had his talisman that he used with his friends on the other side. Well, very similarly, Rasputin had his talisman thing.
Yes.
His curse.
Where his cursey soul
I was calling
exchanged.
this thing a Horcrux the entire movie.
For sure.
Basically. Because Bartok he starts seeing. They're like, oh, hey, there's an Anastasia down there. What's going on? And the device, the magical Horcrux thing, it like wakes up and it starts communicating with Bartok. And Bartok's like, yeah, I think that's Anastasia. So, wow, that's kind of crazy. I thought we killed all the Russians. And that like awakens Rasputin's soul. And so it sucks Bartok down to the underworld limbo.
Luis is like, where is he going?
I was like, he's going to another plane of existence.
Another dimension
Because
here.
he gets sucked through all kinds of very trippy stuff. It kind of reminded me
Nasty.
of last week's trippiness.
Yeah, this was like the same idea as Soul, where it's going through different...
Yeah, different levels of dimension.
Meanwhile,
9 circles
in some
or whatever.
dimension in the underworld.
So he gets down to the bottom, and Rasputin is there. He's like, whoa, what happened? That was crazy.
He's also like, who is interrupting me in my solitude?
My endless
What
slumber.
is happening? and Bartok's like, it's me, master. What's up?
Hey, master, it's me.
I think at this point, Andre. Well, it's funny hearing you do the Bartok voice, because Andre texted me and was like, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of Russian accents in this movie, but I'm gonna be doing them on the podcast. And
Dude,
Bartok
is
sounded
a
the most
Minnesota accent.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota for sure. Yeah.
Don't you know? Yeah.
Minnesota.
Which is
Yeah, I
funny
was
because
thinking
Or
Minnesota.
Anastasia
Wisconsin,
is
no,
like
actually,
I think that's what he
100%
had.
Like all the other ones are American
Like
except for Vlad.
Minnesota.
Right, yeah.
And the grandma.
They play pretty fast and loose with who has a Russian accent and who doesn't. Like, John Cusack doesn't even attempt, like, not even
No.
close.
I thought he was American.
And neither does Meg Ryan. I mean,
No.
there's no Russian accent coming from Anastasia.
Oh, by the way, peeps, I don't like Meg Ryan either. Her, Sandra, and the other one are in the same
Sandra
boat.
Bullock. They're all the
Meg,
same.
And he doesn't like
Sandra
Julia Roberts
and
either.
Julia Roberts. They're all in the same.
Yeah.
They're the same
Lady.
fabric from the same cloth.
And that's a bad cloth.
Remember when we talked about Amy Bublack, the
Oh, right.
the Turlock Mayor and the bad haircut? You can't trust anybody with that haircut.
And Meg has definitely got that Amy Bublock hair.
Poor Amy.
So
Hope she doesn't listen to the Walt Vault.
welcome to the Walt Vault.
Y'all can do your own damn intro.
The Walmart.
So Rasputin learns that Anastasia's still alive, and he is furious. Like, he can't believe that he missed one. He did all of that.
Doesn't he neck? Like,
Doesn't he neck?
yeah, like his neck is over in his...
That's another thing about this particular
Dude.
curse is that, so when he cursed the Romanovs, he cursed them all to die, right? And so since they didn't all die, he's still alive because the curse has kept him alive in order to enact end the curse or whatever. So, but since he's like actually dead, he just keeps falling apart, and his body parts.
It's decomposing.
It's decomposing, but at the same time, he never looks like a zombie
No.
or anything like that. No,
Well,
it's
he
not
just
like,
looks like
it's not like
that.
his skin is rotting off, but like his eyeballs will pop out. He can put his head inside of his own rib cage and talk to
That
his
was
lungs or
probably
whatever.
The funniest part when it went down his neck.
It's
oh,
so
good
weird the
God.
way his body behaves.
That's what I meant. He was necking.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
was.
the neck.
he was
Also,
necking.
it was freaking me out
Where he
because
lost his neck completely.
at this point he like wants to do his little villain song. Okay, he like gets his
Right.
moment. But why is there so many bugs? In the dark of the night, and they're all singing and like chanting. I was getting Scar vibes, like
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I was like,
I told
what-
Luis that too. I'm like, I was like, Andre's loving
Oh,
this right now.
I was.
But I don't know
be
why there were so
prepared.
many bugs. I was like,
Well,
where
I
are
mean,
you?
You know, I he's dead. So, you know, with death comes bugs
Also,
and decomposition.
Isn't Jim Cummings the voice of Winnie the Pooh?
Uh-huh.
And he sang that. That's weird to me.
He sang
He sang that
In the
song.
Dark of the Night song.
Yeah.
Jim Cummings is one of my favorite voice actors.
But it-
he
it's
is
crazy.
He does everything. Not only is he Winnie the Pooh, but he's also the little lightning bug from Princess and the Frog. What's that dude's name?
Oh, Ray.
Ray.
Raymond.
Mhm. Yeah, Raymond. I see Evangeline. Yeah, that's him. And he's also the chief in Pocahontas. He's the dad. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, my daughter. You will
got
never
it down.
marry that white man. he's all those different voices. He's very, very versatile. And he sang
How many many burgers you got, Andre?
Oh yeah, I got the Beyond one. He sang half of "Be Prepared" from The Lion King because Jeremy Irons, who was going to sing that song, he like hurt his voice during the middle of it or whatever. So Jim Cummings came in to finish off.
Well, Jim Cummings is amazing.
Jim Cummings is
Do
dope.
pull a vocal cord or something?
Excuse
Yeah.
You can do that. It's a muscle.
Yeah.
That's why I lost my scholarship to Fresno State. I would have been
singing.
roommates with Andre.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could pull a vocal cord.
Oh yeah, Adele did that a couple years ago.
You didn't know that?
No.
You could get vocal nodules. That's
I feel
what
like
you
sometimes,
get.
you know, like your solo's coming on. It's like a day before your solo at the choir concert, and you're like, where's my voice?
Staying alive, staying alive.
Anyway.
I
in
didn't
the
know you
dark
could
of the
do that,
night.
Peeps. No offense.
I won't even
Now
lie
you
to
know.
We put this movie on, and Adeline was like both kids just staring at it. And when this song came on, she was like jamming.
Oh really?
And when you really listen to the freaking lyrics, I was like, oh, I don't want her to sing this out loud.
But it is a bop, though.
Oh, it totally is.
It is good.
Because it's like,
I
we're
this
going
song, too.
to kill you and strip you apart. And do all this. I was like, ooh.
Okay, Mr. Rasputin.
Rasputin.
So yeah, so that's his whole plan now is to kill Anastasia at some point, you know, before she gets to the Empress or whatever. His new life goal, since he's alive again, is to kill Anastasia.
And apparently the Empress wasn't important because she's been alive the whole time.
Right, I guess you didn't count. I don't know.
Oh,
She
no,
was
no,
in
no, no, no,
Paris.
no, no. She's probably the mother's mother.
Oh, yeah, Louise
which
Schneider.
is not
Right.
a
We
She's not
agree.
a Romanov.
Romanov.
Doesn't it's she's not a blood heir.
Right, which is why she went back to Paris,
Yeah.
because that's where she's from.
She was married.
Gotcha.
Into.
In
In the dark of the night.
the dark of the night. So, Rasputin, what is his first attempt of murder here?
I won't lie. He has some cool attempts at murder
Right.
for a kid's animated movie.
Yeah.
Okay. The ship one was my favorite, but that one was not first.
This is the train
Right.
first.
The train?
The
The
train.
train.
What happened
Where
on the train?
he sends some little probe demons down to the train that Anastasia, Dimitri, and Vlad
Oh
have
my
hopped
God,
onto.
yeah, I forgot about that.
And
demons.
and so this is a cool scene because like they snuck their way onto the train or whatever, and they have like these fake passports, and the ticket taker is going around. He's taking people's tickets, but all of their tickets have red text on them, and the fake ones that Vlad and Dimitri drummed up have blue text on them, and it's like, okay,
They're like, oh snap,
oh,
we didn't fake this right.
everything in Russia is red.
Let's go to the trolley
So
car
they-
that has all the luggage.
So they move to the back car, and the demons start their attack. They separate their car train from the rest of the train. It also happens to have the engine on it. It sends the engine screaming ahead at an unbelievable pace. No one's up there, and also they
Honestly, trains are scary. Like, let's be real.
This scene is nuts.
It's very
like
action-packed.
melt and fuse the train cars together, so they can't even separate it from the engine. So it's careening them towards a bridge, which they also then blow up. They blow up the bridge. So Dimitri has to go out there and hammer the two train cars so that they get separated from one. And even though they get separated, they can't slow down in time fast enough, so they have to like remove the wheels and flip the train car over and slide in the snow and then hop off into the snow for a safe landing, just the three of them. But everything else is absolutely destroyed. It was kind of a nutso move for Rasputin's first attempt, and it
But
didn't,
pretty
didn't
good.
work. Yeah, pretty
We don't
good.
really see what happened to the rest of the train, but I gotta assume everybody died. Like,
Yeah.
that was not
It wasn't pretty.
there was no survivors
'Cause
other than the people who shouldn't have
If
survived.
They were still coasting. They were just right over that bridge. Pretty
This
nuts.
was like Fox and the Hound times 20.
Yes, exactly. So they.
You have a ketchup in your butt, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. Not where it's supposed to be. So
Not you, Michelle.
so they escape that. Rasputin is very angry once again. He's like, I can't believe I messed up Anastasia again. And Vlad and Dimitri take Anastasia like through the woods because now they got to get to a boat.
Into the woods.
And while
Which I
they're
was so annoyed about. I was like, they're literally going to walk through
Well, this is
snow.
where they're doing like a song too. She's like,
Yeah, but
they
it
kind
literally
of.
goes from snow to like
To, like,
countryside
yeah.
Right.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on
So
now.
there's definitely some qualms with this movie, like aesthetically, especially, and storyline. plot holes.
I mean, they're
But-
moving through Europe, right?
I
I
guess.
was like, but how far were they going on this train? Like, how far had they gotten?
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause at
know.
this
Not
point-
enough to get their tickets taken.
That's
You
true.
know, so maybe half an hour on the train. I don't
Not
know.
very far.
Right.
And so they kind of fill in Anastasia like on the actual plan.
Right.
And she's like
Oh, no.
very upset at first, but she really likes Vlad. And so Vlad kind of talks her down, you know, and I mean, honestly, at this point, we know she's Anastasia, but they're starting to believe that she actually might be too, kind of.
They're just saying it's very perfect, her whole situation.
Like, why not?
And Vlad is like, this is the best that we're ever gonna do. There's no other girl that we're gonna find that's gonna be more Anastasia than this girl. And Dimitri agrees, but I think they're still kind of
Yeah.
on the thing that like this just happens to be a really good looking girl.
And as they're teaching her a lot more about her family too, she's like remembering things that they're like, wait, we didn't teach her that,
Right.
you know. So it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah, that guy had a cat. She's like, I didn't know he had a cat. So yeah, they're montaging their way. Anastasia's learning a whole bunch of stuff about being Anastasia, and
and then they get on the boat in Poland.
yes, they get on the boat, and when they're on the boat, Rasputin sends his second murder attempt, and
This one was cool.
he invades her dreams. So he
Stop. It looks like it wasn't bad animation. It's just like from a child's mind.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like smoke or some kind of vapor is like coming through under the like throughout the ship and under the door and then into Anastasia's head and mind.
right, yeah.
But Adeline goes, "Ooh, why stinky shoes?" Because it went next to the shoes. So I think she thought it was like,
It was like
That is
stinky
hilarious. That is hilarious.
she thought it were stink lines, and I was like, "That's
So
just
funny.
really
I mean, I
funny.
bet evil dream vapor doesn't smell great. You
Probably
know,
not.
it's probably a little funky at least. Ooh, who did that? So yeah, he infects her dreams. She starts having a very pleasant dream where she's back in Russia. She's playing with one of her many dead siblings now, and he's leading her through a little trail through the woods. And they get to a cliff, and her whole family is down below, and they're like, "Jump, Anastasia, jump!" But meanwhile, in real life, she has been sleepwalking throughout the ship. She goes up to the deck, and she hops onto the edge of the deck and is about to jump into the stormy sea.
I literally was like, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
It's wild.
That was a cool like attempt, though. Like it makes sense.
Yes.
It did make sense, but you know how much anxiety I had when we were watching Togo and they were like on the ice and it was cracking?
Yeah.
I felt like that in this scene. Like
Yeah.
when her toes
Yeah.
were like on the edge, I was like, oh no.
She is quite ready to dive in and be taken away by the sea. Until Dimitri, he woke up at some point and found out that she went missing.
And the dog,
and,
like-
yeah, Puka's very very helpful throughout this movie. So he runs up there. He gets on some ropes. He swings in to save her at the very last second, catches her and takes her down. And Rasputin, he's just so angry again. He's like, "Rawr!"
I think that's when he next.
Yeah.
The best though is that freaking Bartok is like, master your anxiety. Remember, there's so much pressure.
You're falling apart.
It's so funny when Rasputin is like trying to calm himself down. He's like, "Okay, I'm Rasputin. I'm heartless. I have no emotions. I'm not angry right now." Very funny.
Master, you gotta watch your blood pressure.
Oh, sir.
worries, Bartok.
Blame the bat. What the heck? What easy targets? He's being mean to Bartok and stuff like that. I kick her, sir. Bartok is funny.
Kick her, and then I kick her.
I kick her, sir.
So silly.
So at a certain point when they arrive back on the boat, Anastasia finds out that they're going to meet like a middleman instead of going directly to the queen. They have to meet the queen's niece. Is that who it is? Or a cousin of Anastasia's, I guess it would be. Sophie. Sophie's got a Russian accent in this movie. She's like, "Hello, I'm Sophie. Oh, is Vlad here? He's coming too." Bro, Vlad and Sophie, they got a thing going on. Oh yeah, they're mad flirty.
He straight up was like, "They're this girl, and I'm gonna get her." He knew.
She's straight thick too. He is into her.
Indeed.
He knew going in. He was about to.
Get it? So
Yeah.
agreed, Vlad.
That.
They introduce Anya to Sophie, and she runs her through this list of interview questions that she has, which all the other actresses have been doing, I guess.
And right before they get there, we see a scene with the Dowager Empress being like, I don't want to see any more Anastasia impersonators. These are we're not going to find her, and my heart can't take it. Like, this is too much.
Yeah, I can't do it.
So Sophie knows going into this mini interview with Anya Anastasia that like the Empress isn't going to want to see her, but I think that she's still like holding out hope
that they'll find the real one.
So they go through this interview, and she's like, no one has ever done as good as you.
Right.
Like, I think she thinks like it really is her.
Yeah, you nailed all the answers.
And so she tries. No, she doesn't try to get the Empress to do it, but she does like give them the majorist hint.
Right. They get the hook up. Because Sophie, she knows she's not supposed to take another Anastasia directly to the Empress. But Sophie instead invites them to the ballet that they're all going to go see later that night. So they have to get dressed up for that. The ballet is Cinderella, oddly enough. And in the ballet, when they're watching it before they go meet the Empress, you can see that like the Cinderella in the ballet is wearing like the periwinkle blue, and that the stepsisters are wearing like the pink and green from the Disney animated movie. I thought that was a cute tribute or whatever.
I didn't even notice it was Cinderella. So
I saw on the pamphlet.
Mm-hmm. Andre saw it on the pamphlet that she was tearing to shreds because she was so anxious.
Oh, yeah. I was just watching her anxiety like mount.
Go through the roof. So eventually the play at the ballet is in intermission, or it ends or something like that, and they go over to...
I think it's intermission because like what is his name?
Dimitri?
Dioval?
Dimitri.
Dimitri is like, we're gonna go do it. We're gonna make this happen. And he tries to bombard his way into the Empress's box. And Sophie is like also trying to kind of intrigue her to come out. She's like, I know that I'm not supposed to show her any other Anastasias, but
this one's really good. And the Empress is not having any of it.
And she comes out and she rips a new one.
Oh, yeah. She's like, get out of here. I know the men like you. You're an evil man. And all
the while, Anastasia's like listening in on this conversation.
Right. Also, we haven't mentioned, but like Anastasia or Anya and Dimitri have a very Han and Leia relationship where they pretend to argue, but really they're making Google eyes at each other.
Yeah, they pretend to like hate each other, but they're actually like kind of cool.
I know this is going to be the weirdest thing I've ever said, but it's really not that weird because Michelle says weird stuff like this all the time.
Okay.
But like... You said Mufasa was a daddy.
Absolutely.
As if you had like eyes for a lion.
It ain't weird. A lot of listeners agree with me.
Agreed with me.
They agreed too.
Felicia agreed with me.
Felicia.
I felt the sparks on this animated screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
I was like, oh.
They were palpable.
I think the only thing that got me, like, I thought she was so cute when she had her hair, like, at first. And then when they, like, dressed her up like a princess, I was like, did she get extensions or something? Like, what happened to her hair? Is so long now. And she got a bow in her hair. And Dimitri like it.
She went from a Meg Ryan to a Sandra Bullock, you know?
Oh.
Not that would do anything for Louis.
Oh, no. He's upset.
Nope.
A nope to a nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I did too. And Dimitri is cute. He ain't a dad, so he ain't no Disney dad. But he cute.
Well, Mufasa's not even a human.
He's a dad.
Dude, he is not even a human.
He's a dad, and he's from Disney. That's called a Disney dad. Disney dads. Disney dads.
They have their own theme song, y'all.
So when Anastasia hears the Empress ripping into Dimitri about how he's been holding auditions for all these Anastasias, she feels very betrayed by Loverboy over here. And she doesn't go in to see the Empress right now.
No.
Right.
Dimitri gets thrown out, and she is like, you've been using me.
Right.
And he was like, well, at first. Like, that's not how you start off saying things.
Yeah. So she runs away, And Dimitri goes back in to meet with the Empress again. He's like, I know that you hate me right now, but you have to listen to me because I just had a memory like a second ago where I realized that I saved the real Anastasia when I was a kid, and that is 100% her. She's got the locket. I got the music box. It goes together. She's got the hair and the face. You should go see her.
That's my most. It bothers me insanely that she's wearing that necklace.
Yeah, the necklace, the whole movie.
And it's out.
She's not wearing the necklace
there's
in that
no
scene.
hiding that necklace.
But the entire rest of the movie, she's wearing it and it's out.
Right.
And he has the box.
He has the music box the entire time.
And
He's kept it for 10 years.
She even sees it at one point
She's like, oh, music box.
and knows it's a music box
Mm-hmm.
and not whatever he thinks it is.
Jewelry box.
And like nobody makes the connection that like those two things might go together. Why didn't he remember that he had saved Anastasia?
I don't know.
No, he did remember.
But like,
He remembered. He was a kitchen boy in the palace, and he knows he saved her. But he didn't really think that she was truly Anastasia until she remembered that. Because she said, when they were asking her the series of questions, remember? The one girl was like, I know you might not know this, but how did you escape? And she was like, I think a boy saved me or something. And he was like, oh, snap.
right.
It is her.
I think I would assume, and they never say this expressly in the movie, but I would assume that Dimitri probably thought that she was dead. You know, that he had helped her escape in that moment, and then she was gone forever, and now he's just up to his con man schemes, and he's got to find somebody who looks just like this probably dead girl to sell
I don't
off
know
or
if
whatever.
maybe he knew that was Anastasia. Well, no, he did, because the little boy was like, come on, the princess this way. Yeah,
Right,
he knew.
right. So he knew who he saved, but I don't think that he knew that she was still alive, even though she was saved by him or whatever. So it wasn't until this moment, that when he remembered that you know he let her go and that she had that necklace at the time, and was like, oh snap, this is the real girl. So the Empress goes to meet with Anya, and she goes in there and she's like, all right, lady, whatever. What's your sob story about being Anastasia? And so she starts like telling her and asking her some questions and detailing some stuff, and the Empress is still not having. It's like, whatever, I'm getting out of here. I've had enough of this. My heart's been broken enough times. I'm done. And then Anastasia goes like, what's that smell? You smell like old lady peppermint. And she's like, I remember that one time I knocked over a bottle of peppermint and the carpet just smelled like peppermint forever, and it smelled just like you, and I liked it in this room. And the Empress was like, uh-oh, that's crazy.
That's something like only
Only she
Anastasia would
known.
remember.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. So then they put the locket and the music box together, and they're like, oh my God, you're her, and you're alive, and you're here. And all of Anastasia's memories are finally flooded back in and whatever.
I don't like that. All of a sudden, she just remembers everything. Okay.
I mean, it depends on how amnesia works, right? Like, because she has been remembering stuff throughout this whole movie.
Periodically.
Ever since she hooked up with Dimitri and Vlad and was in the royal palace, she has had more memories come back to her from that time.
I think it's more the flooding all at once that's a little
Right.
less easy to swallow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
If it was more of like a we'll help you recover your memories together
Right.
and or we'll make new memories, I would have been happier with than just like
Right. I'm back. Whoa, I remember everything before my 8th birthday. Or
yeah,
whatever.
she gave her that crown real quick. She was like, "Oh, and this crown
Yeah.
belongs to you."
Here you
I was
go.
like, "Oh, Grandma's convinced."
Ding, ding,
Okay.
ding. It's the early 1900s. They ain't got the DNA tests available, you know?
well, and she gonna die soon. They gotta hurry up
It's
and
like,
make this
we
official.
We got to
Not that she's
adult relationship.
not that she's empress of anything.
Right, yeah. There's no power.
They just mean to like save Russia or whatever, I guess. But
Well, it's not like she's gonna walk back in and be like, "All right,
All right, time to start making
all
decisions.
right. Dowager Empress in the house."
All right.
So,
yo, and then at this point, Rasputin is
Yo.
like, "Listen, I
Guess I'll
guess
have to do
I'm
it
gonna
myself."
have to do it myself." Yeah, just like Andre said.
I'm gonna bake it myself. He pulls a Thanos.
yeah.
And straight up tries to annihilate. That was not expecting that.
The end
The
fight.
showdown. Yeah, the showdown.
The showdown. Showdown.
Chow down.
Oh no, not that. Chow down.
So yeah. Rasputin, he makes his appearance in the flesh. He goes to the living world. He creates a whole thing of thorns that Anastasia walks through. He meets her on a bridge. And Dmitri has like gone away at this point.
Yeah, because they had this moment where she was like, I'm the Empress. So, and you used me, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay. And she was like, unless you have something to say. And he was like, no. And then at that point, the grandma was like, I can tell you don't really want to do this and that, he didn't take the money.
He didn't take the 10 million rubles.
And so then
when she offered it to him, because she did find
she
Anastasia.
like stormed into the freaking garden like Cinderella and was like, oh, my dog. Miklo. Hey, what's his
Puka.
name? Puka.
Miklo.
Puka.
I think Miklo's from Pocahontas.
Miklo's from
Miko.
Yeah, but
Miklo's
remember
from
you were
blood in, blood out. Miklo.
you were calling Miko Miklo when we did the Pocahontas episode. Does it make sense now?
Blood in, blood out.
Blood in, blood
It
out.
all makes sense. So Anastasia's
Actually,
there.
now that you think about it, Rasputin did do blood in, blood out with his curse.
I mean, yeah, those.
He uses blood and started, and he can only end it through the.
He's just trying to make this around to a Thanos meme.
So
It starts with the blood.
Who,
It
me?
ends with the blood.
No, I really wasn't at that point.
Well,
But now let's see how I can.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
So Rasputin is here,
he used the blood to destroy the blood.
and Bartok has completely
Use the curse to destroy the curse.
there it is.
True.
Bartok has
You're on
given-
your own, master.
yeah, he's
He's
given up his
excommunicating
loyalty
himself.
Oh,
to
master.
Rasputin. He's like,
you
I
don't
don't-
have to kill this poor girl.
I don't want to hurt
Leave
her anymore, master.
alone.
Oh, kick her.
I wouldn't kick her anymore. So he's just like watching from the sidelines or whatever.
Like horrified, like, oh no.
Oh no, what's happening?
Sorry, so cute.
While Rasputin is like laying waste to the ground that Anastasia walks on.
He's
like, I'm
straight
going
up
to kill you.
Voldemorting.
Yeah,
it-
he like tears down the bridge, knocks her over, throwing some green light stuff at her.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of magical mischief happening.
In
And
the dark
who-
of the night.
And who comes in to save?
Save the day once again. It's me, Dmitri. He
It's
punches
Dmitri.
Rasputin in the face, which is interesting.
Oh, we didn't talk about when Anastasia slapped him hard.
yeah,
you
she
remember when
slapped him
she
pretty
slapped
good.
Yeah, she did.
Dimitri? That was good.
What was he doing?
He was being a turd.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that's all we have to say. But yeah, she slapped the whole mess out his mouth. It was powerful.
Turd out of his mouth.
Yeah. Stop talking that turd, boy. So yeah, Dmitri shows up. He punches Rasputin.
In the dark of the night.
Rasputin starts destroying the bridge with magic, and then he throws Dmitri onto like a stone Pegasus or whatever. And then Rasputin is like, "Dos vidanya, your highness." And I was like, oh, snap. It's like Scar when he said, "Long live the king." And then Rasputin...
Andre got so excited. He was like, Dos Vidanya.
And then I said that out loud. I was like, oh, it's like "Long live the king." And then Rasputin goes, "Long live the Romanovs."
Yeah.
And he tries to kill her. I was like, oh, snap. They're ripping Lion King off hardcore, which had just come out 3 years before this, right? Anyway, then Puka shows up. And he takes the little magic device and rolls it over to Anastasia, and she just stomps on it with her heel.
This is for Dimitri. This is for my mom. This is for my dad. That's what she does.
Pretty much. She's not wrong, though.
And Rasputin is just like, stop that. But he doesn't even like go after her.
Yeah. So she breaks this very fragile Horcrux, and that does it. It completely liquefies Rasputin. He turns into a puddle, and then his...
And I was trying so hard to like get Adeline's attention because I could tell it was going in
It
a
was
whole
gonna be
Mother
weird.
Gothel way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, Eddie, look at me. And she's like looking at me with one eye and the other eye's stuck on the TV. And I'm like, wow, I don't know your eyes could do that.
Was she creeped out?
Not really. I think because I just got her enough
Distracted
away
her
from
enough.
it. But like she was
Before he like skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
skeleton turns to dust,
ooh.
just like Thanos.
Thanos didn't turn to dust.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
At the end of the end game?
They chopped his head off.
That was at the beginning
That
of
was
the
at the
Endgame.
beginning of.
And then at the end of the
Endgame.
Endgame.
Oh yeah, freaking wibbly
Thanos died
wobbly,
twice.
timey-wimey stuff. Oh yeah, stupid time travel.
So he poofs. Thanos and Rasputin both poof. And, I mean, that's basically the end.
Yeah,
Dimitri
they're
and
happy.
Anastasia start making out. They
She decides not to be the empress and runs away to be poor with him.
right, yeah. They didn't take them rubles.
That's why I said, why didn't they just ask the grandma for the 10,000?
I looked at Lou and was like, "You gonna just leave those rubles? Like,
So
we're gonna go get married."
you had
gonna-
packaged up those rubles already, so maybe
they
you
were like,
want to just
oh, they eloped. It's so romantic. I'm like, without the rubles?
get the rubles, son.
It would have been more romantic with at least one ruble.
At least one ruble.
Couple of rubles, please.
Well, and then her clothes looked nice, and his were all ripped up. I'm like, you didn't want to buy him clothes with some of those rubles? He took a nice...
got none.
Yeah. So then the movie ends with Bartok. He's sitting on a stoop or whatever, being a bat, and he's like, "Okay, well, my master's gone, and I guess I get to live my new life." And then a lady bat, a pink lady bat, just walks in, and she's very aggressive. She just starts smooching him, and he's like, "Oh boy, I did it!" And then the movie's
That
over.
was very bizarre.
It was really weird.
It was really weird.
I'm gonna show you a picture of a ruble because I kept thinking of a ruble like a marble,
Okay.
like a rock.
It's like a green jewel, right? Is it?
no,
I keep
that
thinking
would
it's a green... That's a ruby.
Is it a coin?
no, that would be an emerald. A
And-
ruby is red,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what a ruble looks like.
Okay, it's paper
Oh.
money.
It's literally a paper
I
money.
thought I just wanted it to be an emerald, like
Yeah.
a green
No,
ruby.
no doubt.
You
I
think that
wanted.
all of their currency is green
It
rubies?
said ruble. It made me think of a ruby, and for some reason I was thinking it was a green jewel.
Got
Okay, so
10
they do
million
have
of them?
ruble coins
million
like
rubles.
we do,
Okay.
but they look like coins.
Right. Rubles are
not-
just dollars.
They don't look like freaking.
Let me see
I
'em.
totally was thinking they look like marbles of rock.
Marble.
Because apparently a ruble would be a rock marble, Emily.
Well, I thought a ruble was a green gem. It's not any better.
They ain't got that paper. They ain't got that rock. They ain't got them gems. They ain't got nothing. They are broke. And in fact, they got tattered clothes because of their conflict with Rasputin. Dimitri's walking out of there with knobby knees.
Knobby knees.
His knees is out because his pants got ripped.
But they're happy.
Yes, but they are happy. The kiss. The movie has ended. And
And
then we get the smooth R&B versions in the credits.
It was Aaliyah.
It was Aaliyah?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't see that. Nice.
I don't feel me now.
Oh.
Courage don't deserve me. I turned into Celine Dion for a second.
Well, and I was afraid of what Andre's next sound was going to be. That it was a hat, not a.
What?
What?
So,
Okay.
Okay.
so this movie had a $50 million budget. And despite all of the marketing ploys that Disney applied against them, they still ended up making a worldwide gross of $140 million. This was Don Bluth's highest grossing film to date, and it beat out his next highest film, An American Tail, by like 50 million bucks.
Still never seen that.
Oh yeah, American Tail. You haven't seen American Tail?
Mm-mm.
That's a Steven Spielberg movie as well.
I'll never watch it.
What?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Oh my.
Not until you
Heavens.
watch all the brave little toasters.
I've seen all the Brave Little Toasters.
Brave little toasters.
Little toasters.
Why is that your?
Yeah, why is that the
comparison?
barometer?
I don't know. Seems like it's from the same time.
I mean, it probably is similar, but yeah.
Little
The
toasters.
brave little toasters. Just trying to make them Russian.
Little toasters.
Toasters,
So
but the
overall,
rhymes.
this was a cute movie. I would
Yeah.
definitely watch it again. I enjoyed it.
For show.
The music was good, like we said. There's bopperinas in here.
Did people
all
like
kinds
it?
of opperinas. People did like this movie on Rotten Tomatoes. It
Obviously
has-
enough for them to think it was a Disney princess.
right, yeah. This movie has a score of 86%. It is certified fresh.
Better than that, though.
Sure. The audience score is 77%. The critics' consensus says biutiful animation, an affable take on Russian history, and strong voice performances make Anastasia a winning first film from Fox Animation Studios.
That was the first
Agreed.
Fox
The
animated.
first Fox animated movie that
Well,
they
they did well.
did. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right,
Luis, what are you going to give this movie?
let's rate this puppy.
An
Nice.
8 again.
8.
An 8. It was good.
8 is
And
good.
this time I'm gonna give actual feedback as to why.
Oh,
I like the fact that it had some historical accuracy.
Some.
I liked the bat a lot. He was pretty cool.
Rasputin.
Keep wanting to call him Grogu.
The bat.
No, the bat.
Oh, the bat.
The bat.
Bartok.
Balrog.
Yeah, I don't
Say
know what kind of
Balrog.
Balrog. You know,
Bartok.
But about okay.
Bartholomew.
Grogi.
Bartholomew was pretty
Oh.
cool. So,
Yeah.
Bartholomew.
Anastasia she was a Fine woman.
Oh.
So 8.
She was a fine woman.
She was a fine woman.
Who's a finer woman? Pokey?
Pokey?
Or
Oh.
Anastasia?
It's Pocahontas.
Whoa.
I was waiting for you to finish.
It's
Didn't
definitely
even pick up.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, it's definitely
Didn't even
Pocahontas.
pick up.
Who's hotter,
Oh my-
Pocahontas or Anastasia?
Both.
Both.
Wow.
It's definitely
Luis
Pocahontas. Is the
is
correct
greedy.
Why not both?
Bow and a bow.
answer. So greedy. Andre, what are you going to give this movie?
I am going to give this movie an 8.5, I think. It was really good. Solid all the way around. Performances were good, even John Cusack.
Who I
And
get confused with Nicolas Cage.
they have very similar faces.
Yeah, they
You're
do.
Right. Yeah.
They do.
And even similar cadences sometimes, I guess.
Mhm. And especially
It's me, John Cusack.
in light of our national treasure issues this week, I feel like it was even more apparent to me.
You're
that
welcome
he
for
was
that
similar.
meme. You're welcome.
National
Oh my
treasure
gosh, there
issues.
were so many national treasure memes though. Like, wow.
You're
We
welcome.
definitely could have
Stolen the Declaration.
So
of
you're
Independence.
telling me that's realistic
Not
now.
even that hard.
no.
Super easy. All you
I'm
gotta do is wear a Confederate flag.
gonna
Anyway.
also give this movie an 8.5. It has some bops.
Bops.
It was good. Solid princess movie
Mhm.
that I will watch again.
Mhm.
Yes. Emily.
Agreed. Same.
Agreed. Same. Indeed. 8.5.
8.5.
Louise, change your score to 8.5. So it's a sweep. So I can say, it's a sweep. Oh, man.
No.
He nodded no.
It
to
will
her.
remain a partial.
You know what? Given your guys' rating holds different value, your 8.5 may either be a 9 or an 8. So I don't know if I
Boom!
should.
He done got y'all, suckers. Ah! He got me too.
I was gonna say you're an 8.5 too.
I know. So yeah, that's it for our discussion on Anastasia.
I would not mind seeing this as a live action. The more I think about it,
Yeah.
the more I'm
I kind of want it to be
Yeah.
a show.
less opposed.
I want it to be like a limited series, like one season. Like, yeah, that sounds
I want
good.
Rasputin to come in. I want him to be looking creepy.
I need to look up that song now. Oh, do it. Okay, and then as Andre was trying to do some of the accents earlier, I was like,
He's
you
doing
sound
the
like those
Russian dance.
vultures from the Beatles. The
What are you
Beatles.
talking about?
The Beatles.
The Beatles. I was doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi impression the other day, and she was like, "You sound like a Beatle." I was like, "No. Those are two completely different voices."
It's me, Obi-Wan.
This is me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is me, Paul Lennon. Wait, what's his name?
Stop. Oh, Len. I thought you were being
I'm
Ringo,
Ringo.
honestly. Yeah. You
Oh
were
my
more
God.
Ringo than anything.
Your Obi-Wan was too nasally.
Next week.
Wait, I say it.
Huh?
Next week.
Oh,
Since
okay.
we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. Speaking of,
well, he's not on this
he's
movie.
not in this
but-
movie.
Well,
but
no, but franchising
Next week is my birthday.
happy birthday.
I'll be not 30. So good. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever,
28.
youngin.
Well, I'm going to take back that champagne I bought for you.
No.
Actually, I gave up alcohol, so it's really not champagne, but it's sparkling.
I like sparkly things, including beverages. So next week, we're going to do my favorite Star Wars movie, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I just call it Rogue One, though. But that's the full title.
Rogue
really
One, a
called
Star Wars
us-
story, a.k.a. Rogue One.
It's called Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Okay, I don't mean to be rude. I'm going to say it now, so I don't have to say it next week. That's a stupid title. A Star Wars story.
Yeah,
Star
they
Wars
just said it's
story.
the name the Rogue One.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
A Star Wars
Well,
story.
they wanted to differentiate it between
Like-
the saga movies.
Because wasn't it one of the first ones that came out that wasn't a saga?
I think it was the
is
first
So I
one.
think that's why they put that in the title.
Unless you count the Clone Wars animated movie.
No, I don't count that.
Came out in
That's like
theaters.
an animated thing. But if when you're
That's an
thinking of
animated
like
thing.
live action Star Wars, you're thinking different trilogy
Right,
series.
right.
So that's probably why they put it in the
Yes,
name. But
that
like
is.
they could take it out now.
And they did it.
They
for,
can take it out.
They did it for Solo as well. It's called
Han
Solo,
Solo, a Star Wars story.
Mhm.
But they
I like
didn't.
it.
They didn't do it for.
For what?
Was there any other?
No, there's not.
Mandalorian, a Star Wars story.
No.
Lando.
But the ones that they've announced, the new ones coming out, Rogue Squadron. I think that's just gonna be called Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Either way, they're making it too much. Just name a Rogue One. But it is my favorite Star Wars movie, and therefore we are doing it. And also on the crack, now we're going to talk about Grogu Season 2.
Pretty much.
On our after show, Cracking the Vault, on our Patreon, we are going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 2.
Probably the finale mainly, but
yeah.
Because now we're all
caught up.
Got my feelings
So we're gonna
which you guys
discuss
probably
that a
know,
little
but
bit.
Andre and Michelle watched the show and watched the shows as they come out.
Week to week.
And Luis
Yeah.
has to be Luis and refuses to watch it until it's all the way out.
Well, that's usually me, but I live
Yeah.
with this one, so
Correct. And I was not going to let that stand.
So we definitely just finished it this week.
You just binged it. So it's fresh.
But because there's only 8 episodes, it's super easy to binge.
Yeah.
Super
and they're
easy.
like what? Like between 30 and
30
45
and 40.
minutes?
Yeah, the time changes. It
Yeah.
varies.
I think
It's
the
not that
longest
bad.
one is like 55 minutes or something like that.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, so
That's when the X-Wing comes in.
there's going to be all kinds of Star Wars stuff available here on the Walt Vault. Check us out. In the meantime, you can
Do it.
You can
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
You can keep up with us
Go ahead,
on
Luis, I know
social
you
media
Do it.
at the Walt Vault Pod
Do it.
on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go there, slide into our DMs, do it. And
Dude, we watched that movie the other day, and then I kept saying "do it" like a lot.
we watched
Episode
episode 3.
Do
Revenge
it.
of the Sith, where Palpatine goes, do it. So go to our social media, leave a comment, let
Is
us
that
know
why
what
you
you
were
thought of
Sending me
Anastasia.
that GIF over and over.
yeah.
Yes.
I think we watched the prequel trilogy, and all you could think about in the third movie is "do it."
You can send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com.
Somebody please send us an email that just says "do it."
do it.
I'll give you $10.
What? No, stop promising money to people.
You already owe me 10,000.
Yeah.
remember?
Oh,
Louise
goodness
said that
gracious.
earlier.
Yeah, we're heavily in debt.
Oh no.
Yes, check out our
Now
merch.
10,010.
Check out our website. Go to patreon.com/thewallvault to get that extra content that we got going on over there. And is there anything else? Nope, I think that's it.
That's it.
That's been it for this week, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you and we
Limoncello.
love you.
Limoncello,
We will
limoncello,
see you next week
limoncello.
for some Rogue One
Limoncello,
goodness.
limoncello, limoncello,
The Vault
limoncello,
is now
limoncello.
closed.